Everybody's laughing, having a good time. You feel better now after Inter's win and Napoli slipping up.
After Inter steals, Juventus steals. This is Marotta leagues and what's his name? Giuntoli leagues. Every time things
Milan doesn't have any
no,
favorites.
it has to go their way.
No,
We got red carded for no reasons.
Yeah.
Red card. It was an offside, and then they could have reviewed the
The
stuff.
refereeing in Italy is
It's
so,
horrible.
It's so
Horrible.
bad. I mean, it's. I
You
feel
should
like
be lucky.
Oh, you should be lucky.
You should be lucky. Yeah.
Thuram
Yeah,
was fouled in
okay.
the penalty
Two
box.
Rams and three Rams and four
Three
Rams.
blind mice were in the referee.
Yeah.
Three blind mice.
And tell that stupid coach of
said the
yours
same
to stop to crying babies. Him and Marotta. Oh, we don't discuss that.
You took the bait.
Okay, the Marotta
guys are all
leagues.
masters of
The
that.
Marotta leagues
All
is
right.
working again.
I don't know what's gonna happen in Serie A. I genuinely don't know. I went from being very confident on Napoli when they beat Atalanta and Juventus, and I said, my gosh, okay, now this is really good. And then they tie against Roma and they tie against Udinese, which I wasn't too scared about with Roma. I said, okay, it's normal. But then the game against Udinese, not just the result, but the way that they play. And then Inter, they lose 3-0 to Fiorentina, and I thought, okay, here we go. This is where they're gonna pick up. They're gonna fall down a little bit, and then they win again.
Disappointing.
What a
Napoli.
Serie A we have. It genuinely might go down to the last match day. It wouldn't surprise me at this
It
point.
might go down. How many referees they're going to be siding with you? I
And
guess.
do we have to include Atalanta back in the top four? In the top,
I don't think they
place?
ever went anywhere.
They're still there.
Right
They
there.
never went anywhere.
I took them out.
You took them out.
Yeah.
And who the hell are you,
No one.
Mike? He took them out.
I mean, to be fair, they did have a stretch of a few bad games, and I was like, they're gonna collapse.
Atalanta is still
But now, but they're right there. So
I still
wouldn't
I
put them
don't
out.
I don't put that. I think there's two, and then they're in a different category for me than
What?
Napoli and Inter. They're in a different category, but it wouldn't surprise me at this point. Actually, no, it would surprise me if Atalanta won. But either way, we're making it a great Serie A. I also heard that if it's tied on points, it could go to a one-match game to decide who wins the Scudetto.
That would be tasty.
So there is no
How
goal differential,
crazy
not
is that?
not direct.
It goes to a match between Inter and Napoli, and then it's decided based on, I think it's decided based on goal difference, who plays at home. Or head-to-head decides who's
All I
who plays
know,
at
that
home.
game's gonna have. Forget about the Super Bowl views. That game's gonna. Everyone's gonna be watching that.
Listen, the VAR is a disgrace.
We're not talking about the
No,
VAR.
we are.
No, we're not.
We
No,
are.
we're
The
not.
VAR, we are. Okay.
It's so boring to always talk
Yeah, it's
about
so
the
boring,
referees.
especially when it's favoring you guys. Of course, it's
It
boring.
never favors you.
Yeah, never, ever. We got a red card yesterday, 2 days ago.
Okay, you mentioned that
You don't call
twice.
that a favor. Yes, and I'm gonna keep mentioning.
Let's start with Fiorentina Inter. Inter
ahead.
looked great in the first half.
Fiorentina, Inter, or
It's
Inter,
alright.
Fiorentina.
I don't know. I guess Inter Fiorentina. What do you make about Inter in general?
In general, after these two games, it was obvious. Fiorentina, Inter played on Thursday. Inter were dead. They didn't have any legs. There wasn't any creativity. I think there was a lot of passion from Fiorentina, the players. I think, obviously it's in remembrance of, Bove. This was a win for Bove. This is the game that was stopped, and I think Fiorentina, all the players, they really got behind themselves.
Inter had energy today, though.
Yeah, they did, but that's because they got slapped. When you get slapped 3-0, the champions, they gotta wake up. You're not allowed.
the champion.
I don't
What
think-
champion?
They're the reigning champions.
We're gonna
Last
slap
year,
three
we
nothing,
were the Scudetto champions.
Oh,
were we not?
oh.
The reigning
Yeah.
champs.
So-
the reigning champs.
You get slapped 3-0. No matter, even if you're in the top 4 team, you're not losing 3-0. So that's an embarrassment, and I think it was an important wake up call for Inter. Finally we have the starting center backs all playing, Bastoni, Acerbi, and Pavard, and you saw Acerbi's masterclass against Kean. Masterclass.
He's
The
very
guy
good.
knows how to shut down a top striker, and that's just the reality
It
of
doesn't
it.
look impressive.
And he loves these games, too.
Yeah, and
Every time they whip the ball in the box, I was just laughing.
Yeah.
Saying, you're falling right into the trap.
And Barella played great. Lautaro played great. So, these are all things that
Zielinski,
we
I
need to
thought.
see some coming out. Yeah, Zielinski when he came in. Even Zalewski.
Zalewski.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you.
He dribbled
I'll
the
tell
ball
you.
out. How
Okay,
many-
that's fine. Listen, the thing is, we don't have another player that can beat his man 1v1. Finally, we have someone. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo, but he can beat his man and put in a cross. So it gives us another part of the attack that we've been lacking. We don't have a 10, and we don't have a creative dicey type midfield that's gonna
That's
take the
fair.
man 1v1.
Inter showed a lot of strength today to bounce back. And I saw a stat. They lost 8 times in the past 2 years. 7 out of the 8 times, they always won the next game, the following game. So it shows you the strength that this team has. And I was very impressed with the way that they started the game, just with the intensity. They left Fiorentina in because Fiorentina is a good team. I thought Palladino made some of the changes a little bit too late. I wish they would have went for it a little bit more. He starts putting in Fagioli, Foloruncio, they start moving the ball a little bit better. But for me, Lautaro showed how important he is. He showed how immense he is. You could see even from the first minute, he's getting the fans riled up. That's important in a leader. That's important in a player. But the other big takeaway for me was Zielinski playing instead of Aslani. He is the vice Hakan. When Hakan went off, I was very nervous. I even thought this year, I said, you know what? They don't have the alternate to him because Aslani, he gets nervous under pressure. He's not very good. Zielinski's technical ability, his calmness. There was one time where he's got 2 or 3 Fiorentina players coming towards him. He moves the ball to the side. He lays off to Zalewski. It's a perfect play. That's what you should do. So if Inzaghi could create another regista a la Hakan, man, this team, they have a new dynamic going for them.
Calhanoglu's still not 100%, meaning he's still getting into his rhythm. Because the past few games, he hasn't been outstanding. The Calhanoglu that we know, when he's on, he's very scary in that midfield. So, I think everybody we're still suffering because we get Acerbi back and Di Marco's out. So we've never had the full squad this year.
It's true.
We're the oldest team, right, in Serie A, and it's a telling tale in a sense where we keep on picking up these little injuries, but we're right there. We're 1 point away from Napoli, and we have at least we have the break from Champions League where we don't have to play these extra 2 games, and hopefully we can recoup some energy, and make sure that we have a full squad ready to go from now to the last run.
Speaking of energy, I saw that Inter and Milan could play the derby another 4 times. It's possible. I was looking at Inter's schedule. You have to play Juventus. You have to go away to Turin, so that's going to pull out a lot of energy. We know how crazy the last game was. And then in the Coppa Italia, if they go on and beat Lazio, then there's 2 games between Inter and Milan. And then in the Champions League, if you guys win this week, if Milan win this week, and they could be paired together, so that's another 2 games. That could change a season right there.
For who?
For Inter not winning the Scudetto. I think if you have to play that many games, those 5,
We can make that happen.
I think that would be. Obviously, I know.
You want that season to change,
but then also it could change the season for Milan where they win.
From
maybe winning a Coppa Italia. Now they're only going to win the Super Cup.
I was talking about from a Scudetto perspective.
Is
For
that
the
why
Napoli
you
fans
mentioned
listening.
Milan, Anto? Because you guys are out of the
Listen,
race.
We'll get to Milan.
He throws me a bait. I'm a smart fish. The stupid fish,
You're a
they
fish?
go and they take the baits quickly. I don't do that. I just observe the baits and then I said, well, let's see. And then I said, I don't know.
You're more of a tilapia.
So you're comparing yourself to a fish.
You're more of a tilapia kind of.
A smart fish.
You're a
You
goldfish.
compare yourself to a fish.
Smart fish.
Okay.
Okay.
Like the Swedish fish.
No. Can we go on with
We can. Mike, you have anything to add about Inter or just?
No, I mean, to be honest, I just knew they weren't
the
gonna.
episode?
They weren't gonna drop points again. What?
The episode.
go
When they
on,
won
Mike.
out on
Go on, let him.
What?
The episode. The ball was out.
Anto,
I'm talking
stop
about-
bringing it about the ref all the time.
I'm going to bring it up.
Let him say what he
I was
was
gonna say in
saying.
general of the
Go ahead,
thing.
Mike.
Even when it went 1-1, I was like, okay, maybe Fiorentina could do something, but when you have a team like Inter and Inzaghi's gonna be breathing fire down these guys the whole time, it was just playing at the Mazza too. I just felt like it was very unrealistic. I mean, Fiorentina held their own for the majority of it, but it was just too much pressure piling on. Fiorentina's attack wasn't really involved in the whole play, and it just seemed like a matter of time for me till Inter just got the job done, honestly.
Yeah.
Look,
not a great game for.
I seen
Fiorentina.
Inzaghi body language as soon as the game was called. The guy's like he won the World Cup. The guy was so nervous.
A lot of pressure.
It's a big match,
Being
Anto.
slapped maybe twice, it would have been probably the end of his stint at Inter. But
what are you talking
let me
about?
just
Are
say
you
something
crazy?
to you.
But if they didn't win today, it would have been a problem.
Let me
would've
tell you
been an
something
issue.
to
But
you.
not a question marks for the job.
Hello,
Just move on. Be the
English. Let
smart
me
fish.
say
Why-
something.
Didn't you guys learn what he just
Leave
said?
the tilapia
Be the smart
alone.
fish. Don't
I
set the
know,
bait.
I'm gonna
Say
throw
that.
the bait. You see what they do? They take the bait quickly.
Yeah, you're onto something. You're onto
Okay,
something.
so let me say something.
You are
to
the smart fish.
As soon as the game was called, I saw Palladino walking all the way to the ref, and they were kind of greeting each other, but cursing each other at the same time. Palladino,
Greeting and cursing.
Palladino
Wait, did you hear
said
a
to the
microphone?
ref, "You fucked that up, did you?" He said, "Yes, I realized that, but I couldn't change it." I said, "I apologize to you." That's what the ref said to Palladino.
How do you
I
know?
was able to read the
So now
labiale.
you read
Pa, 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 pa,
lips
pa.
now?
Yes, he said to him, "I'm sorry. I screwed it all up. Everybody got to see it. I cannot take this back. It is what it is." Palladino was not happy with
So
that.
the two episodes that Antonio hasn't brought up yet to start the podcast, which I'm proud of you for not bringing it up yet. The ball that went out, and it did go out. I mean, I could even see it in live
But
time.
not
I
by
was
little,
pretty
Marco.
sure
It went out by this much.
the ball went out, and they gave the corner
Thanks,
kick,
Pete.
and then Fiorentina scored an own goal on that one. Then the second one is Fiorentina hadn't done anything in the match. They send this ball in. Gosens heads it, hits Darmian's elbow. And honestly, I just don't know what handballs are anymore in the sport. We've seen so many this weekend, this past couple of weeks, what's given, what's not given. I don't think even the VAR room, and I don't think a lot of the referees even know. And I don't know if any of them have ever played the sport before
It was
with some of the
forearm,
calls
no?
that they're making.
Wasn't it forearm?
It was right here.
Yeah, it hit his elbow.
Right here.
I thought
Up
it was
here.
more, whatever.
Right
It was
here.
still, I thought it was a
the
penalty.
lack of consistency in the calls, and if they're moving towards, if they're not moving towards it, natural position, not natural position. There's a big confusion, I think, in Italy, also in the rest of the world. I see a lot of people talking about Real Madrid. We're watching Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, the penalty that's given. So there's a problem with referees, I think, and it's the interpretation. It's not the technology. It's not that. That's not the issue. It's the way that they interpret it. For me, it's too much by the letter of the law. It's too textbook. It's like a bunch of nerds reading what the
Yeah,
script is supposed to
what-
be. They never have you played the game?
Yeah, but
No,
Marco,
you don't have to play at a high level,
whatever-
but do you understand the dynamics of the match?
The thing is, it's all based on interpretation. So whenever you have a VAR, it's an instrument to better make an assumption, better make a decision. The problem is, it's never black and white. It's very hard. So it all goes down to what the recommendations come from VAR and how they apply it. The only thing that is black and white is goal line technology and offsides. And even with offsides, people complain because they say, "Oh, this toenail shouldn't, or the, one little bit of
fraction.
your forehead or nose. If you have a big nose, you're gonna be offside."
I'd be screwed.
It comes down to, hey, that's black or white.
Get a nose job.
But the point I'm trying to make is it's always going to be down to interpretation. So what I think should be done is what we've been saying for a while, where it's you call for the VAR when you have challenges, in a sense, where you can call for the VAR on certain things. All plays should be reviewable. For example, if Fiorentina sees that ball is out, you throw the flag. You say, "I want that reviewed." That's a whatever, goal kick at that point, right? And end of discussion. So that way, it's not left to the referee at the stadium. Then also, in the American sports, they have a central base where all the decisions are made in the same place, and you hear the communication.
You have to let
You don't
everybody
see
know.
one referee on one side. In Milano sees it differently than the referee in Naples. No, because it's one central place where they're gonna be
How's
able
that
to
different
review.
from what we have? There's a VAR room.
There's a VAR room, but it's within
For
the
each
stadium.
game.
For each game.
Each game is got a VAR.
The VAR room is in an office.
No.
in
No,
Resona.
Paisa. Each game has got
game
its
has a
own
different
VAR.
VAR.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Then you're wrong, Marco. You're not following the
Yeah.
rules.
Each game had their own VAR.
That's
official.
what
They are.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was
But-
all centralized.
No.
I thought
That's
it
an issue.
Yeah,
No.
That's an
I'm,
issue.
I'm not sure, but that's what I thought. What
No,
Peter
that's
said.
but
Every
they'll
game has
show,
got its own
every time they
VAR.
show the referees
Yeah.
and then the VAR.
That it does show a different setting for
Yeah.
each time. It's probably
So- Yeah, so that's an issue.
Or
So
maybe
then,
I'm
based
Yeah.
on, there's no central interpretation. So
That makes sense.
Every referee can go look at things, but you should have a central VAR where this is how it is.
And
But how many
NBA,
times I've been saying that you needed the VAR of the
Pete, in
VAR?
NBA,
I've
they
been
have it in
saying that for a
Jersey,
long time.
And they always go back to it and they talk about it, all the decision there. So it's always pretty much the same team, and there's less confusion overall.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess that I think we see it in football overall and in all the leagues that you go to. I mean, even in the Dutch league, did you see there was 12 players on the pitch in one game?
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
crazy.
realize.
crazy.
There's some.
well, let's not bring the Dutch league now into
I'm
like.
saying it's a problem. It's a problem in football.
Well, it's all sports. Everyone, All sports, they're gonna be whenever there's a decision to be made. These people
But
are
is it
gonna
as
be
much
upset.
in
Yeah.
like American football and
Oh, yeah.
basketball as it is here, as
Oh,
it is
yeah.
in soccer? I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like that's the only conversation.
No.
Hey,
it
one,
is-
one thing I
it
gotta
is.
say, Marco, it's so disappointing that you open you go through the digital Gazzetta, the Corriere,
It's all about
and
that.
you see the rating of the referees. Very rarely they go to 7 or 8 or things like that. Very poor. The vast majority very poor. They do
It's a difficult
poorly.
job too, also. Anto.
No,
There's-
Mike.
You get
Mike,
criticized so much.
Mike, those referees, with all the help that they have with the VAR, they stink. They stink. They suck, all of them. I'm telling you. It's horrible.
I just
It's a
feel like
horror
everyone
story.
has their own interpretation of these rules at the end of the day. And yeah, whatever, they make mistakes, but to be fair, Anto, I feel like they're so magnified at everything that they do.
Magnify on what?
Like they're put under the pressure
So what's
so
that
much.
you've been paid for? You've been paid to
No,
just to
I
interpret the game.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying they're every mistake is magnified even more if they make one or a call
Yeah, there's
that someone
different people,
doesn't
but it's
agree
that-
with.
So it says it's centralized?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one VAR room in Lisone.
There's a VAR,
'Cause
but
I've been
but
there,
there's
that's the only
8
reason why I
different-
know.
The thing is that
I've seen the different rooms. I've seen where the referees work. So there's a bunch of different rooms
Every
in
game is being
Lisone.
taken over by different people.
But it is centralized. It's not, the VAR room is not at each stadium. It's not how it is.
Of course not. Of course
what we
not.
just
Some stadiums
said.
don't even have the
Yeah, that's what we just
the room.
So I guess it's just a
It
bunch
is
of
central.
different.
It's in Lisone.
But there's a different room background. They use different rooms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they have
okay,
multiple
'cause
rooms.
I see that does
But
look
it's
different
not
on
that
the
they're in a
background.
different
Okay,
place.
since we are on the subject, Marco, can you explain to me, if anybody, not just you or you, what is the difference between the call that was not made for Inter, because I guess it was already too late, or they were allowed to continue, and the goal that was not made for AC Milan when Tomori got the red card? The stuff was right there. It was challenged, and then there's a red card for Tomori. But it's not that it was the same play. Why don't you go and review it? It was an offside. Why did you apply the red card?
Yeah, they're making
Why?
mistakes.
Why?
They're
Tell
making
me.
mistakes.
So whose mistake is that?
Bad mistakes.
Kid, he wants to answer from you.
What is
like
it?
you made the mistake.
I didn't make the mistake.
Oh, you didn't make the mistake?
No.
Oh, but you're not saying anything either. But
No,
you're
I
not
am.
just saying
But
it.
the same way that I said that there was a mistake at the Inter Milan game.
No.
when there
I'm
was
not
a penalty.
asking you.
When
I'm
there was a
asking you.
penalty.
Is there
No,
is
but
there
was
something
there a mistake
wrong?
there?
That guy that was
Was there a
refereeing the AC
mistake
Milan
there?
game is a piece of crap.
Was there a
I hope
mistake
you're
there?
listening to me.
Everybody's made mistakes on
Yeah,
each
but
way.
come on.
It's
That guy's
not
a stupid guy, man. I'm
it's,
telling you.
there's
So
mistakes
much.
across
I
the
can't
board,
stand him
and then
all
they
the time.
they
He
have
does it.
even a show in Italy where they go through. Oh, was this correct? No. Was this correct? Yes. Was this? That's the way that it is.
Marco,
There's been
20
mistakes for
people-
every team all across
But
the
in
world.
sports too,
Real
Aldo,
Madrid,
this
Real
happens
Madrid,
too.
Real Madrid are saying that they want English referees.
In
You know what
sports, it
"but"
happens.
means? When you say somebody, when you're starting a sentence with "but," that means yes, you are allowing them to do that. You're cutting a slack.
But that's not the only sport
10
that
AC
happens.
Milan player,
Anto.
including the goalkeeper, they went to the referee and said the play was offside. The guy didn't want to hear about it.
Even in tennis, the umpire over there,
Yeah,
he
they
gets
make
calls
mistakes.
wrong, right?
Yeah. It is. I
It's
just said
everywhere.
Real
It's not
Madrid
just a
want
sport.
English referees because they think that they're getting hard done by. They wrote a letter. Florentino Perez, the biggest team in the world, is upset about this, and I think they're right in a lot of cases. But anyway,
I just
we got to move on.
And yeah, I just want to say on top of that, in Greece, the top 4 teams when they play each other, they're always foreign refs.
That's what
Always.
we should have it in Italy.
I'm just saying, it's
I
a
think it's
problem
more-
everywhere.
AC
I think-
Milan
I think
should
it's-
never have
I
an
don't think-
Italian
I don't
ref
think-
in them.
I don't think it's bias. I think it's incompetence.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
yeah,
It's,
for sure.
for me, it's very biased.
No,
it's very
For me,
biased.
for me, it's incompetence. It's looking. You could get out of anything when you read the law and you scrutinize it in a very specific way. I don't think they understand the dynamics of the game. It's the same thing when they slow down emotion and you say to yourself, if you watch it just full speed, you understand that the
it's
contact is
difficult.
not enough to lead to something, and that part really bothers me. And I think that it's more that than anything else. Let's move on. Let's talk about Napoli, because Napoli slipped up big time against Udinese, and
Disappointing.
I saw some worrying signs. I'm usually pretty optimistic, and like against Roma, I said, okay, it's normal. You're not going to win every game. They had won 7 before that, so it's possible, right? The thing is, this game against Udinese, which Udinese is a tougher game than people give credit for. They look at a name and they say, "Oh, okay, Napoli should beat them." You haven't watched Udinese play. I watched Udinese dominate Atalanta and should have beaten Atalanta because of how good they are. They compete. They're physical. They're very underrated, too, with some of the players that they have, the quality. Even the kid Solé in the back.
What about
the
Toven?
defender,
Toven is one of the top
Lorenzo
midfielder in
Lukaku.
Europe.
They have some really good players. So that's just first. But for me, Napoli, besides the opportunity that was lost, because there was a huge opportunity after Fiorentina, you're going to have games that you slip up. You're going to have games that you can't win. But it was a lack of creativity. And also, the level, the drop in level of the substitutes that came in. We know Oliveira's out. Spinazzola goes out right before. Mazzocchi. I mean, for me, Mazzocchi in a first-place team in Serie A is crazy. Juan Jesus as well. I know he's been doing well, but he's not going to be able to do it consistently. Then you look at up top, when things are not working because Neres didn't have a good game. He's got to sub out Lukaku. He's got to sub out Politano. And they finished the game with Engonge, with Okafor, with Gilmore. The level of quality is so low. And Conte, rightfully, was very upset after the game, saying, we just need to manage our expectations. Everybody's saying that we're going to win the Scudetto. But when you see the team, and I think he's absolutely right, it's scary when things are not clicking for them. They don't have an alternate to come on and find that creativity.
And the mannerisms on top of that, just how they played. You needed that. When a direct rival drops points, you're supposed to be. I really thought they would be breathing fire for this game, and they didn't show anything, and I was just so disappointed in not just Conte but just the team. And yeah, they're not always gonna have a good day or whatever, but show something. And it also comes down to the players that they brought in and that weren't good enough for this Scudetto winning team, and that goes back to ADL. That we were complaining about last podcast or the podcast before, that they didn't invest when Kvaratskhelia left, and we were saying get two players, get one player, get something to help this push, and these small little increments like that could make or break the season.
Let me ask you
They're
a question.
only 1 point ahead now when they could have.
Let me ask you a question. Does a team that's serious about winning the Scudetto sell Kvara? And maybe you had to, right? Sell Kvara without reinvesting and getting a new guy. Does any team do that that's going to win the Scudetto?
No.
I even think of Atalanta as an example. Atalanta, Scamacca goes off injured, right, in preseason. 2 minutes later, they identified who they wanted, the target. They closed the deal. There's no messing around. Oh, we couldn't close St. Maximin. Oh, Garnacho wants this. No, we're going to go for Adiemi. No, Adiemi doesn't want us. It bothers me so much. And that's not to say that they're going to throw the season away. What Napoli's doing right now is incredible. And they still could go on and win the Scudetto with this team. But it just disappoints me when I see this window of opportunity that they had and they didn't take it. And then I also saw those deficiencies that they had in the defense and in the attack to not find.
Okay, here's the point. I think everybody
still in first place with all that being said.
Great analysis, but here's the point that I'm going to try to make to you guys. Look at the style of Conte. Look at the style of Gasperini. Look at the style of Motta. Those are very high demanding in terms of physicality. Those teams, they have so much that you can do. But when you're playing at 90 miles an hour, day in and day out, something is going to give. Some of the players, actually more than half of the Napoli squad, looked deflated to me. Deflated.
Give him a week.
Mike,
he's right.
Doesn't matter. Mike, those are the same players that Conte uses all the time, except for a couple changes here and there. Anguissa looked like he was dead. Okay, a lot of those players, they look like way overworked out.
You know what I wonder too? Obviously playing one game a week has made them competitive, but it could also hurt you in a sense because you never get the next guy to come in. You don't have any new...
By 40 ritmo.
You never have the substitute to come in
You got to
and
hope
play.
that they have the same good performances. But that goes down to having a good bench also. They're not always going to score, but you bring a super sub in for that reason.
Inter with Arnautovic today. They found the solution. They got the goal. And I know you could always take specific examples and make a case for it, but I saw in this game, it stood out to me. Again, Udinese is a very good team. They didn't lose to Empoli or I don't know, Verona. Well, they did the first time, but that's not my point. My point is they tied to a good team, but I saw these issues. Like I said, Mazzocchi in the back line, not having something up top. Even the subs that came in did nothing. Nobody did a thing.
The difference, we've been discussing this all year. The difference between Napoli and Inter. Inter's got 3 teams. Napoli's got a team and a half. So Inter advantage is the deep bench.
I don't even know about a team and a half.
Well, It's good. They got
barely
good
made the
players.
Do they have a team in the
They
half?
barely made a team.
They have a team and a half.
No,
So
not a half.
Inter squad,
And a
it's
quarter,
way over. For every position, they have 3 players technically, and Napoli is managing. Now you are trying to say ADL. Is Conte to be blamed too? Conte, they knew that Para was going to leave, so you have to make the point. I said,
Conte's in a win-win situation no matter what.
No.
There's an excuse.
Listen,
Yes.
you guys keep
There's a
changing.
clutch.
No,
You
no,
guys,
but,
listen. I do not
You're saying
ever.
Conte's to blame, but Conte, if he wins the Scudetto, it's an incredible miracle. If not, nobody's
They
going to
didn't
blame
buy
him.
him.
Marco,
They
Come
didn't
on,
buy
you can never
for
blame
him.
him for what they finished last year. But everyone's going to say, all right, you sold Quada, you sold your best player.
I'm
And
not
you didn't get a
talking about as an
replacement.
Inter fan or as a Napoli fan. I do not have a dog on this fight, but I'm telling you, Napoli is making a big mistake by letting Conte do whatever he wants. You think
Conte wanted to sell Quada and not replace him?
he didn't do much to push for it.
What are you talking about? He
What do
made
you-
him
what-
stay in June. He told him, please stay. He forced him to stay, and then things didn't change.
Once the rumor that he was about to leave, they knew it before us. He should have just get De Laurentiis ADL
you
from
don't
the
think he
neck and
did?
said, "Get me this
Anto,
now."
you don't think he did? Come on.
I don't know.
I don't know if you
no,
followed
no,
Conte's
no,
career.
You said
Come
something
on,
different.
man.
You just said that you can't listen to Conte, and now you're saying that he didn't put
Conte
ADL
is
on
to
Conte.
blame.
No, hold on.
Conte is to
I
blame
think-
just as
I
much as
think-
De
I think
Laurentiis.
it's-
He's
No
to
shot.
blame.
Listen,
No shot.
The thing
What are you
is,
talking about?
for Scudetto winner,
Yeah.
they just usually in January, right? It's a mercato where you try to get
Fortify.
these little pieces to make your team better. Napoli lost and they got worse. Why I say they got worse? Even if Clara's not having an exceptional year, that guy can make something out of nothing. And you have Neres, you have a rotation now with
On the
Politano,
bench.
Neres, and Kvaratskhelia. Okafor is still to be seen what he can do and what he can bring to Napoli, but he's no Kvaratskhelia. That we know. We saw it already in the few years with Milan. You don't have, these replacements or these little bit of magic, right? Because even Simeone, when Napoli did win the Scudetto, the guy was on fire. Now he looks a shadow of himself.
Yeah.
Now, is it because of lack of confidence, lack of playing time, all these things? Maybe.
Napoli
But-
don't create a lot either. He's not the type of striker that's going to really – he could do it on his own. He
Yeah.
needs the players
He needs
around
service.
him.
Correct. So, how I see it is, listen, Napoli is right where they have to be. I still think, whether they would have won versus Udinese or lost or tied, nothing would have changed. Because it's
It
Marco,
would have put a lot of pressure on Inter today.
Nah, it puts pressure, but ultimately you're not going to decide the Scudetto in February.
Not decide, but it does
that's what you
change.
write in the Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport. It doesn't change anything because trust me, once Napoli slip up, now all of a sudden the pressure gets changed, and the pressure will be on them. That's just the reality.
Inter don't leave a
of
lot of
Napoli.
windows of opportunity to pick up points. When you get them, you need to take them. So
Yeah,
it does change. I'm not obviously it doesn't make a Scudetto or not. They would not have won
No.
the Scudetto if they got it. But it's massive points that when you go further on into the season, if Napoli have another injury where they're going to drop points in a further game, you
Both-
have a safety
And
net.
Both
psychological.
Inter and Napoli
And
are-
psychological.
Both Inter and Napoli are going to drop points from here until May. I guarantee you, they're going to drop points.
Who said that? No.
So the reality is, it's not going to make a difference. What I see is, you look at it.
points
you
can
look-
make a difference.
Everybody went.
It could be 4
Two
points
points
or it could
make a
be
big
1
difference.
point.
I get
Of course
it. I
makes
get
a
it.
difference.
But everybody was going crazy that Inter lost to Fiorentina. Napoli were only 3 points up at
because
that
we
point.
thought.
But even if they would,
Napoli were going to win.
capitalized.
But even if they won, it's still.
Listen,
How many? Okay,
Not-
how many
listen.
points do you think the Scudetto is going to be decided by?
2 points.
It could be probably a few points, but
I think it's going to be 1 or 2 points. I think it's going to be the finest of margins.
Marco, I'll tell you
so
what
then
is
at that
happening.
point, Napoli already lost it because they lost to Hellas Verona.
A Peter Curto.
No, I mean, they're up by 1 point right now.
It's just
3
psychologically,
points.
I think you would have put a
You
lot
lo-
of pressure
the
on
first,
Inter.
So the
They
first
play a
game
different
versus Hellas
game.
Verona is where you lost to Scudetto.
Listen, you
That's
see,
it.
that's the right word, is the pressure. Napoli is feeling the pressure now because now Inter is breathing on their neck. Gasparini is starting to play better. Lazio is starting to play better. Everybody's
Lazio's
starting
not
to
an
pick
easy
up.
team for them either.
Yeah, no, they're going to come up with, and they have to play Lazio.
lost them
1
twice.
second, let me finish, please. So the fact that Napoli is not playing the Cups or the Coppa Italia, that's even another pressure for them to show, hey, what the heck are you guys are doing? You're not playing the Coppa Italia. You're not on the Champions League. You're not on the European League. You're nowhere.
Get your act
And
together.
here you are. You slip up against the Udinese. He's right. The pressure is getting to them. Being outside looking in to jump over Napoli is probably doing. Inzaghi is having a good time right now, but that's why Conte, to me, he has to just pull something, some magic out of his hat or his hair, whatever he has left over there, and make things happen
what
for
it is?
Napoli.
He
Because
needs
I'm
Milan.
telling you,
the only
they
team-
are in panic mode
The
right
only
now.
the only team that can deal with pressure is Inter, because they've done it before. The other teams, look at Atalanta. The moment that we thought they could win a Scudetto, they started failing again, because these are teams that they don't have
The
winning.
Inter's bench.
They don't have Inter's bench. I agree. I agree.
Atalanta
Inter's
have a
bench is
pretty good
top.
bench.
Atalanta has a good bench, but the moment you mention the S word, it's like Harry Potter with Voldemort. You can't say it. The moment you say Scudetto, everyone hides. They're afraid. That's the reality.
Who says Scudetto? Napoli says Scudetto?
I'm saying Napoli.
Okay.
I'm saying
But the newspapers,
Atalanta.
too.
The moment that there's a little bit of that possibility or how they promote
The
you,
pressure.
all of a sudden, it's not as easy as it is.
sure.
That's
Listen,
just the reality.
as much as I want Napoli to win so badly, I want Napoli. I mean, anybody over Inter. Somebody, even Lecce, I would put to
We
win the
understand.
campionato.
We get it.
But I'm saying anybody. But I think, I always said it from the very beginning. I don't see Napoli. They don't have it. They don't have it across the line. This is a marathon. This is not just a game here, a game there. This is a marathon. I don't think they have it to go to the end of the stretch.
I still think they can
they're
do it.
running out of breath.
I still think they can do it, but
Champions
for
League
as
starting.
for as optimistic as I've been on Napoli and high, I have some worrying sides. Just because, again, you need to capitalize on your points, but it's the performance that they put in, and if they get another injury or two, I would be terrified with how the team starts to look.
Or two?
Yeah,
Just
and
one.
And I think
But
the
Buongiorno's
big-
coming back.
The big thing will be Inter, though. For me, it's all about that. Inter, if they have these tough games against Milan in the Coppa Italia, in the Champions League potentially, that could really hurt your season, and then that's where Napoli will be able to take advantage.
All I can say, it's Inter's
make that happen.
Inter's Scudetto to lose.
For sure.
Okay? And Napoli, the fact that they didn't find a replacement for Kvaratskhelia is not giving them any advantage. If they would have got somebody, Nico Williams, whoever, somebody that's better than Okafor, they would have been a little bit more dangerous up top.
I feel better.
And they don't have anybody up top that scares me. Lukaku is not what he once
He's
was.
hit or miss, man.
Neres is a very good player, but he's never done it
Inconsistent.
consistently enough for me to shake in my boots.
Politano.
Absolutely. You're absolutely
Okay?
right. Kvara
And that's
was,
it.
though. Even if Kvara
Oh,
was not at the
Kvara-
best, I always thought to myself, all right, on his moment, he might create a little bit of magic. Speaking about magic, let's transition to Milan, because Zlatan said that Joao Felix is a magician. He loves him. He said you guys missed a player between the midfield and attack, the number 10, and that's where he's going to play. He has a pretty good start. Him and Gimenez had a pretty good start. And there's a good, even though the game against Empoli was not a good game, especially the first half, there's a lot of good feelings around this Milan side. Huge Champions League match against Feyenoord. Feyenoord just sacked their manager, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
You stole their best player. They sacked the manager. I feel good about their chances, but Milan is a very different look. It's so different than at the start of the season. It's so different than a month or two ago. How are you feeling about the outlook with your new attack that could be Joao Felix, Gimenez, Pulisic, Leao? How do you like it?
I'm liking what you're just saying. I like that. I want you to keep repeating that all the time because
You improved massively. Massively.
let me tell you something.
And
We
what
had
You had the
position
best.
you guys in?
You had the best transfer market in all of Europe.
Thank you. I love that. Next time repeat it again over and over. Joao Felix, it's like I told you the last time, it's like the cherry on top of the cake. I was not really high on said, oh my God, I hope we land this. We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get a short enough bomb. We got it. So that is gonna put us over the top for the 4th or the 5th spot on the. Actually, I will say 4th, 3rd or 4th.
And
on
how
the,
do,
on
how
the
do you like
Champions League.
Gimenez as well?
Jimenez is deadly. I can see the way he's focused, this guy here. This guy's not looking to pass the ball to anybody. He gets the ball, man. He's got those net and those things he's got right just focus on. This guy is deadly. This guy is
Great goal that he scored.
Oh, forget
That's
about
a striker.
the goal.
That's a
But
striker's goal.
he's not afraid to shoot. He takes the ball, he turns, boom.
You think Morata would have passed that ball?
Yeah. It would have passed the
That's
ball.
what everyone was saying.
Well, listen. That's why we got it. You know, the scouting this time here, they got the right guy. Sometimes you need to be lucky. I mean, I think we were on the track of this guy here during the summer, but I guess it was not mature, his transfer.
You wanted a 9. You needed a 9.
Yes.
Milan were desperate for a number 9.
Not
I
only
think
that,
we all could see that.
Not
It was
only
pretty
that,
evident.
him and Leao, they're starting to connect, even though they play rarely on the national team. This is once or twice, 3 times a year.
You're saying Joao Felix.
Joao Felix and Leao. Joao and Leao. Can we make one word? Leao, Joao, whatever. All right.
Jolene.
Wow.
Well,
Like the
we have
song.
Teao, wow, meow.
Felix the
Confeitao.
meow.
We got we got
Teao.
a lot of Teao. We got a lot of how.
How to.
Ow! That's gonna hurt, guys. So be ready. He's gonna hurt. So I'm very happy.
hurting?
And Walker. We didn't even mention Walker.
The guy is a wall. Walker, wall. Walker. The guy is a wall. Nobody goes through the guy.
What is he?
Walker. È un muro. Another brick on the wall. We need it. This guy here, it's the full wall. It's a brick wall.
I like the leadership too. You could see him giving pointers to some of the young players in the locker room. There was audio of him saying, even when you were up a couple goals, it's 0-0, guys. It's 0-0.
No
We
slip
need
up.
to keep playing.
No slip up.
That experience.
What a big difference. What a big difference.
You don't
we
buy
have.
that. You earn it.
This guy here, I mean, his age was the only question mark for me, but I'm seeing him play. This guy here, he's got another 5 years.
Okay.
He's got another 5 years. I'll take 3, but he's got 5 years.
Do you feel better about this Champions League match? Obviously, it was a massive slip up when you lost to Dinamo. You had top 8 in hand. You would have been able to bypass these 2 matches. Out of the teams, you got a more favorable draw because you get Feyenoord. We know Feyenoord is capable of some good things, but I mean, sacking your manager, you took their best player. You feel a lot more confident.
We're going to pass it. We're going to go through like nothing to them.
Okay, relax.
Would you say, maybe Mike and Peter, I know it sounds crazy because Milan has such an up and down season, but I actually think there's going to be a lot of teams that don't want to play against Milan because of their new shape, because in the bigger matches, they actually tend to turn up because tactically it plays into their favor. And then we don't know how Gimenez is going to do. We don't know how Joao Felix is going to do. It's a good start, but we don't know what's going to happen. But if it clicks, there's actually a lot of quality in this squad.
I mean, I just want to say real quickly that, with a couple of great signings for Milan, they look like a brand new team. Before, they're like, oh my God, this is so predictable, boring, clumsy, all over the place. But now they look like, wow, they could do some stuff, and they look fun and excited to play. And it just brings me back to what Napoli could have done. They could have followed your guys' plan and get a couple players, but now it's like the opposite. Before the January,
We gave them
mercato-
Mocha for. Come on.
Okay, but I'm saying before January, it was just like, oh, Napoli looked good. But Milan was
You
opposite.
guys were saying that Napoli looked good.
All
I
right,
never
guys,
said that.
focus on Milan.
But
I asked you about
what I
Milan.
wanted to say is, if you have a good mercato, get a couple of signings, like how Milan playing perfectly, it projects the second half of this season. Like, who knows what it could happen.
They also
Talk about the Champions
they were
League
also
now for
forced to
them.
because they had a really bad market in June in
Okay,
the summer
that's-
market.
I
So
guess.
usually the teams that have to do business in January is because you made a big mistake. They identified that they made a
But
huge
good planning,
mistake.
too,
Napoli
is gonna
didn't make
help.
a mistake, so it changes the dynamics of it. But on my question, do you think teams are actually scared of Milan now?
Oh, yeah, I think-
Have they scared you more? Even though you already
Well,
got beat by
with-
them in the Supercoppa,
Yeah.
are you more scared of this team with the new additions?
Thanks for the
No,
reminder.
with the new additions, definitely, because they're all creative players. Because even Kyle Walker, for him being a wall in the back, he's also, pretty good
Crossing
with
the
his
ball all
feet.
the time.
So now that was a big weakness for Milan. I don't know, who was working in the summer. Must have had too many Negronis or spritzes on
Spritz, Aperol
on the
Spritz.
Navigli because you do not spend money for Emerson Royale. That's number
Oh my
one.
gosh.
So you now got someone that's solid back there. It's his Walker. So
You need a Walker?
Wall. Care.
Do you need a Walker?
No, we don't. We have a wall already. It's a brick wall.
and then you add Joao Felix. I mean, you look at this team: Leao, Joao Felix, Pulisic, Reinders, and now you have an actual number 9 that puts the ball in the back of the net.
Jimenez.
It's very
Jimenez.
scary,
A lot of
especially,
quality.
especially a lot of speed. A lot of technical ability.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is that it mixes well with Sergio Conceição, who is a sergeant. So like it's very structured and it's very tactical when it comes to his defensive approach and being able to read a game. So now you mix that with technical ability and vision of how to play football. It's a scary opponent.
I think also Milan's management, rightfully so, was under a lot of criticism lately, and they responded. They responded well. They identified their targets. I think they realized that they tried to make like a very possession-based team early on, and that did not fit what this team was. And I thought the decisions were weird in the summer, but then they started getting the results. They had some pretty good performances. But the point is that they've solved those issues. And I do think that Milan is a team that teams don't want to face going forward because of the ability. A team on the rise. Absolutely. But you need to get the job done, and you need to win these games, and you can't overlook Feyenoord because you do have a tendency in the past, in the smaller games, in the Cagliari, in the Monza, to slip up. But I'm hoping that it's Champions League. There's a lot of money on the line. There's also, for you guys, the more that you win, the more likely it is that Italy gets a 5th Champions League spot, and that could be important because we know how competitive the top 4 is. So all these things to say that Milan fans should be excited, and we'll see how the new signings go.
One thing you guys probably, I'm not sure, probably you guys realize a little bit, when AC Milan is doesn't have the possession, or when AC Milan has the possession, there is a lot of player creating a lot of space. I haven't seen that on the previous few games, but now with this new addition, you see a lot of
all around the park, right? Yeah.
Just a lot of movement.
For sure.
Coming back, Leao starting to come back.
Options.
I see a lot of people just filling up the empty spaces and just say, hey, here I am. So the options have grown exponentially. So even on non-possession, we have a spectacular
it's true.
outlook. So that's what I said that AC Milan has improved. Before, the ball rotation, to me, the stats are 65% against 25%. Who cares? You have to have the possession and you have to make it count. I'd rather to have 25% possession and make 20 chances. Let Juventus or Inter have a 95% possession. Nobody gives a crap. At the end of the day, the ball possession does not win you game. It might bring you closer to the net a little bit more, but if you don't pay attention to details, you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah. Let's talk about Juventus as well. They Kolo Muani, talk about January signings that have helped fix. The guy's got 5 goals in 3 games. Nobody could have expected this start. He's starting all the matches. Thiago Motta has made it very clear, the hierarchy, that he's the 9. He's the striker. He's the focus point. And maybe this is the striker that he wanted and needed. And also for Kolo Muani, he went through a really bad period at PSG where he was outcasted. And now he's got confidence. And it seems like the team is playing for him. He's very good at his hold up. Like he's not a striker that is just in the right place at the right time. I think he actually helps the team play a lot better for all the problems that Juventus has, because Juventus still have so many issues in this squad, Cup Miners being one of them, and the mistakes that they continue to make on the goals that they concede. I mean, I could see that the goal that Como scored. How many times have Juventus conceded that exact same goal this season? The ball at the far post. So those are the issues. But at least when you have a striker, he could bail you out of games. And I think that at times that's what Juventus are lacking in these moments.
What does this mean for Vlahovic, you think?
He's gone.
He's gone.
Long time ago,
He's gone.
Mike. You're still talking about Vlahovic?
They're saying that he's...
That's history.
They're saying Vlahovic is going to be on the bench again, so that's 5 in a row. So he's made it very clear.
Because we're talking about if he changed... formations to try to fit 2, or if he's going to try with 1.
Thiago Motta spoke about that, and he said that it's probably more in game than it is to start, which I think is a mistake. I think it's a mistake.
Well, right now it's proven dividends, but there's still a long.
But they're barely scrapping by. I think that if you play them together, I think something special could come out of that. I think that he would actually be really good in that position, and I say that because
what would you put Vlahovic then?
I would do like him as a striker with Kolo Muani a little bit behind him. Yeah,
like a second striker.
Yeah, like what Joao Felix is going to do at Milan. I like that. I always love the 2 striker system too. I love it. I always think that the teams play good, but Juventus have issues in a lot of different areas with the way they concede goals.
Could you ever recoup? How much money could you ever recoup from?
Recoup for Coop Miners?
No, recoup for Vlahovic if they sell him in June. They spend what, 75?
Yeah, 30, 35.
P, what do you think?
You have to sell him this summer.
I mean, if he first off, he has only 1 more year after, so you have to sell if you're not going to renew. Then you're not playing him. So the only thing that you could hope is that two teams really want him and they do a
Go
little bit
back.
of a bidding war. But
Inter will take
other
it.
than,
Don't
other
worry.
than that, other than that,
English team overspending.
Would you
Man,
take him
okay.
at Inter?
yeah, and he'll score 30 goals.
Because he gets service.
Are you trying to say that Motta is stupid, that doesn't make this guy here score
No, by the
That's how
style
we're
of
starting.
play, he would score goals with him.
on a 3-5-2?
And I'm telling you, I still think I know I'm not saying that Vlahovic is not comparable. He's not been good enough for the money that they paid, but I still think that in the right place, this guy will score
But
goals.
if you look at his goal contributions, he's putting up very good numbers. I mean, even last year I was looking at it because we had a little talking part with some friends. He had 35% of Juventus's goals last year. Are you kidding me? From one person? And if you compare him to Thuram, who last year didn't have the greatest of years, but had a lot of goal contributions, he only equated like 15% of Inter's goals.
If he goes to
So-
Atalanta, that
That's what you
guy's
do with
gonna
your friends.
Yeah.
You guys check these stats.
Oh, I always take a closer look
the
because
stat master.
That's why you didn't come to the
Stop.
Super Bowl.
He checks the stat beat all the time, right? Did you check the stat beat?
no.
All right, go ahead.
So you have to identify also a player is not going to score every game. There are very few players that can do that. It's the reality, especially in Serie A. You don't have these unbelievable
Retegui
star
would like to
players.
have a word with you.
Yes, but Retegui,
Hello,
20 and
Retegui.
22.
Retegui this
I know,
year
I'm
can
kidding,
do
I'm
it. The
kidding,
following year, I
I'm
don't know if
kidding.
he
Yeah,
could.
it's one
you know,
step.
follow up.
Atalanta should sell Retegui for as much money as they can
course.
get.
Vlahovic.
Sell him for 60 million, 65 million, and then buy Vlahovic for 30, and then do the same exact thing.
And then some
Exactly.
to Juve.
They could. Yeah,
That's
honestly,
right.
They could
No,
probably
Retegui
do.
now goes for 80.
You think 80?
Oh, yeah.
He should.
Easy.
He should. For some of the money that I see spent.
Maybe to Saudi
Capo
Arabia.
Carogne.
Maybe
For
Saudi Arabia.
No.
Are you
what are you talking about? Saudi
crazy?
Arabia?
80 right now?
How is Maribor
Yes.
going for
I'm
80?
telling you, there's teams in England that
So
goes
Kvara
should,
is
personally.
worth more money than Retegui?
I say 65 million
Kvara.
plus.
Kvara is worth more money?
Guevara won the Scudetto. You
Yeah.
can't
You
compare that.
didn't win the Scudetto.
Who won the Scudetto?
He didn't win.
2 years
Napoli.
ago. 2 years
Napoli won the Scudetto, not Kvara.
Without Guevara, Napoli
without
would
all-
Oh,
not
all-
win.
you know what, Mike? The thing is,
You're wrong,
there-
Mike.
look at
Sorry.
how many big teams in Europe are desperate for a 9. There's gonna be a big bidding war. The problem is he's not gonna be the piece. There's gonna be a piece that falls that decides who's going where with Arsenal, with the big clubs, and then from there we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Lukaku gets sacks, Retegui goes to Napoli. That will be the best thing that
They keep
Napoli.
saying Luka. I don't know about
Luka. I like Luka. I like
don't
Luka.
know.
I like him.
He needs to score goals. That's the only issue. 'Cause the nine-
Just for number 9, just gotta score goals.
number 9 has to score
Other
goals.
than
But
Adams.
for his size, the way he moves, are you kidding me?
He's
He can hold up the ball. He's very fluid on the
very
ball.
physical too.
And he's also, he's always a threat in the box. But if you don't score,
I like him.
Play
I'm not
defense
crazy
at that
about him.
point.
Let me
You
say
should
this. I
have it.
like him. Of course, I like him. But I'm not crazy. He's not this player that tells me, oh my God, he's gonna be the future superstar.
Just like
of-
Esposito bros. They're good, but
I don't
they have
know.
potential.
I don't know. He's a very interesting profile. But is he gonna be? Is he the guy that you help build your team around? Is he that 9 to
it's
invest
tough.
in?
Gasperini
To be
will make
fair.
him to a champion if you send him over there. And so for some reasons, I smell that.
Do you think Argentina have any regret? Be like, we miss Retegui at all, or like, we have enough talent already?
They never offered him the job.
I
to
know. I'm
begin
just
with.
saying now. It's like,
Retegui,
damn, we gotta look at our
Retegui would be
backyard
nowhere
more.
without Roberto Mancini. That's who we really need to thank. If everyone wants to be mad at Mancini, Mancini is the one who got Retegui. He was playing at Tigres. Even in Argentina, they laughed at him. Boca Juniors gave him away. And now he spotted the talent. He did a very good thing that put it on the radar of Genoa, who we said at the time, Genoa were so smart to get that deal. I remember at the time Fiorentina was talking about him, and he would have been perfect for what Italiano had wanted at the time. Perfect. He would have fit in like a glove. They paid nothing for him. I think they paid $12 million. And then we saw what he did at Genoa. He's also, by the way, for the people that are surprised, did you watch any of his games at Genoa? The guy was doing this all the time. He got no service at Genoa. There was
He
no
did-
help.
he did
And the
everything
guy
by
was-
himself.
The guy was scoring 7 goals in his first year in a team that, look at where they are right now. He had no help. So I'm not surprised. They did very good at putting him in a position. He is over exceeding my expectations. I didn't think that he would have 20 goals in 22 appearances, scoring 4 goals this weekend. It's phenomenal. And I pray that this translates to the Italian national team and Luciano Spalletti, who we've been seeing him at all these different grounds. He's at every different game. He's watching what Retegui's doing. He's watching what Moise Kean is doing with 15 goals. And I hope it translates to the Italian national team because we know we've had that problem with the striker. Maybe we've got two of them. And for me, I would try to play them together.
I will put Chiesa
And
too.
Retegui would be starting over Lautaro. Let's be real. If it was the other way around right now.
What do you mean? They're very different.
No, but
Retegui and Lautaro.
but
In
they play with
Argentina.
one striker. No.
But Retegui and Lautaro are very different profiles.
Yeah.
Lautaro to hold the ball up. Retegui's.
But
I mean,
Lautaro
he's got better
start-
hold up, but
in
he's
a 4-3-3 he
sniper.
starts. I'm saying. In a
Retegui
4-3-3 Argentina
is
plays.
it's a Topino in Varese.
Bro,
Topino is
Argentina would
somebody
not
that
look at
steals
Retegui. They have too much
anything
talent.
right there. Is an opportunist.
I'm
Boom,
saying
boom,
if you
boom.
didn't pick a national team, and you definitely get called up. What are you talking? Nico Potts gets called up. A bunch
think
of
they go
other
with-
Doesn't
random.
Retegui
too many
remind you of
nines.
Inzaghi?
Yeah,
Super
he's
people.
that
I think
type
he get
of
called
player.
up for sure.
Super
Super
bit.
people.
He's that type of player.
But he's got
He's
his
a
hold up
type
play
of
got
player.
better.
A good problem.
Even the two of his goals, the ball bounced right to him.
Exactly.
He smells the goal.
Yeah,
Scored
yeah,
three of them. He scored 3 out of the 4 with his left foot.
He knows where to be.
Yo, left foot, right foot, header. He does it all. He does it all.
No, he's
I
good.
can't
He finds the
believe.
back of the net.
I just can't believe that teams overlooked him in the summer for 22 million.
But even when he
was going to still be at Genoa.
But in Argentina, you remember he scored 7 straight goals, 7 straight games, 7 straight goals. I remember they were talking about it.
Paying attention to
And
the
we
matches.
were saying,
I
it's
remember.
Argentina. But meanwhile, no matter where you are, you can even be in India. If you know how to find the back of the net, you know how to score goals. That's what you.
It's all about environments too. How you live up to pressure. Like there's so many different factors that go into being a footballer. But my point is, how the hell were teams gonna let Retegui stay at Genoa? If Scamacca didn't get injured, Retegui would still be at Genoa. And all these teams need 9s for 22 million. You didn't watch this guy play. You didn't see how good he was.
They're so
The
stingy.
guy's
A lot
got
of these
20.
te- a lot of
The
these
guy's got
teams are so
20 goals
stingy.
already. Come on, I don't know.
But
For me, that's
the
crazy.
only thing with this is everything's going in for him. I feel like I don't want to jinx anything, but usually when it's like that, the next season doesn't correlate to that extent. Like with Bellotti, everything was that season with Torino, everything was going in. Every
Bellotti
touch.
sucked though.
Easy.
Bellotti
Be
I'm
nice.
saying
sucked.
that's
He was about to go
Bellotti
sold to Milan for
But he
100
was
million.
Yeah,
terrible.
I always
We
bring that
almost
up.
got him.
I always pick that up. You
But
guys almost,
Bellotti was so
Kyle
bad.
almost baited you guys on that one.
To me, they're really different. To me, I see something in Retegui. I saw something in Retegui even when he wasn't scoring goals. I just see a guy that understands. He understands the
Dude,
game.
that
He reads it at a
Bellotti
different
season,
level.
I was just like,
Bellotti
yo, this guy's
Bellotti was a
incredible.
bull in a china shop. The guy was a disaster.
Everything was going in.
Yeah,
Every
he had-
touch, it was incredible.
Yo,
Off his
but he
hunch.
wasn't scoring great
Dude, he scored
goals.
like 2 goals off his. I was
But
like, what's
but
going
that's what I'm
on?
saying. Do you see the goals
Enough
that
of
Retegui's
Bellotti.
scoring?
I'm
Retegui's
falling
scoring
asleep
quality
listening
goals.
Bellotti now. Please, no, let's not no more about Bellotti. So we have a bigger.
He's in Benfica right now, by the
oh,
way.
really?
Yeah, he went on Benfica in the January
does that make
mercato.
him?
No, I'm just saying.
He's sitting
from
on the
Como-
bench. He went from
he
one
was at
bench to
Como,
another.
But he was at
Who
Como
cares?
and he went to Benfica.
Boring. Anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk
Lazio.
about something interesting.
Oh, you
Lazio,
know what's
Lazio.
crazy?
Lazio, big win.
Really funny story. Lazio smash Monza.
Big win.
As obvious as it
And
gets.
Monza got Nesta back.
That's what I'm saying.
They got Nesta back?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Lazio smashed Monza, and Monza, who just sacked Nesta, they brought in Bocchetti. They bring Nesta back after sacking him in December. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
That's peak Serie A.
That's not a good move.
Nah, but they have no money. They haven't spent $1.
But why do you sack Nesta? Nesta should not have been sacked to get Bocchetti.
Galliani's on the Freccia Rossa trying to make deals, trying to get players for nothing.
Listen. This is just a prelude that the team is for
No,
sale.
they're going down to B, and that's it.
Yeah,
And,
they're getting
goodbye.
relegated.
And they're
Man,
going to sell it.
They had
They're
such a
gonna
good
sell
thing
it.
going.
Of course.
But that's why it's
They had such a good thing
monetizing right
going.
now. It's monetizing as
They
much
did
as it
already.
can.
They sold the best midfielder.
Maldini.
Bondo.
Maldini.
They sold.
Maldini.
Are you kidding me?
It's sad. They were on such a good trajectory. Think
Oh,
about
Marco, you
Palladino
forgot
there.
about mentioning
Carlos
Bondo coming
Augusto
to
was
AC
there
Milan
too,
too.
right?
We haven't
Carlos
used the
Augusto
kid
was
yet.
there.
Carlos Augusto was it. They had
That's some
Colpani,
players,
Di
man.
Gregorio. They built up, and
What
they
a
were playing a
joke.
good brand of
I
football.
hate when teams do that.
They could have been what Bologna's doing, what all these teams that are on the rise that try to push for Europe.
Berlusconi's family didn't want to continue in his legacy.
That's what
so.
it feels like.
No, it's the reality.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
They don't
I
want
saw
to.
Sensi
It is
scoring the
sad.
penalty.
It is
Your ex.
I love. There's something about Sensi. Every time he comes on, the guy is so fun to watch. I know he doesn't do it
What could've
consistently, and he's got the injuries, but with the ball at his feet, that man is pure. He understands the game. Like that's calcio. That's football. If you had to show somebody and you watch a game, he doesn't belong at a Monza. If he could be healthy
We're
and
gonna be like-
consistent, the guy will be playing at one of the top teams in the world. I have no doubt about
Next
it.
season will be like he understands Serie B so well. He's such a great
Oh,
player.
Nah, he's an old school player. Unfortunately, in the
yeah.
modern game, especially if he can't stay healthy, he's
Doesn't
not
correlate.
going to be the star player. But he's a pure calcio
Pure.
player.
Pure.
Maestro.
player.
Another guy is Dybala. I love seeing Dybala for Roma. The guy is every time he touches the ball, he's pure. He's another guy. That is football. Honestly, I put Joao Felix in that list too. Just those kind of players, we don't get them very often. And of course, you can look at the numbers and you can look at the stats and say people score more goals. But I'm saying you understand football when you watch them play. You don't have to tell them what to do. They just read the game on a different level. The team plays better when they're there. You always want them to be healthy because it's enjoyment. You turn the TV on and you see them and you're like, this is when you were a little kid and you go in your backyard and dribble and think that you're Maradona and send the ball in.
You see Ranieri trying to defend and you want to turn off the TV. Oh,
Ranieri from Fiorentina.
Yeah, from Fiorentina.
Oh, Ranieri.
That player gets me so mad. I don't know
Me
what
too.
it is. If it's a mustache, I really don't know what
Hey,
it
you
is.
had a
He
mustache.
just...
This
What?
guy?
I said, you've had a mustache.
Yeah, no, that was a joke.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Stop
But
picking on.
you
You know what they say?
I'm
If you
not
got a
picking
glass
on
home,
him.
you're not supposed to throw stones.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever, that was a joke, the mustache. Yeah,
By
I
the way-
did have a mustache.
By the way, on the Juventus
the
game,
episodes.
nobody picked up on the fact that there was an handball, that there was overload.
Yeah, and my boy Duvikas, the Greek, came in.
They confirmed that it should not have been a
Unbelievable.
penalty
Who
kick.
said so?
The referee association goes through all of the calls. They said Tomori was the wrong call.
Yeah.
They made a mistake.
Okay.
So they analyzed all the different calls. They said that
Who's they? According to who?
I just told you. The
Juventus-
referee
oh,
association.
Association.
The referee association. The
I want a board.
AIA.
A referee association. It fills just your mouth.
They're the ones who
Bunch of
decide. They're the
garbage.
ones who decide things. They go through each call and they tell you if it's correct or not. They had, I think they said that 3 or 4 were incorrect this week, including the Tomori one. They said that the Gatti one was correct because of the dynamics and because of the way that it didn't affect.
Do you think
The
they're going to
game.
rescind
Got
the,
another one.
they're going to rescind the game that Tomori is going to be given?
I don't know. I didn't know.
He didn't read that far.
Huh?
Yeah.
He didn't read that far.
Okay.
You didn't even know the referee association existed.
I didn't even know that it existed. A bunch of losers. You actually need an
They're in
association.
body onto the
Huh?
center. It's in body.
It was formed by a Barre's ref. actually.
Really?
Yeah. You know, by the way, we went to the comedy show with the guy Mark Anthony that came on our podcast.
Oh,
he
boy.
abused Anto.
Oh,
I'm sure you worked something with
Swear to
with
God.
him.
No,
Swear to
no,
God.
What do you mean he
Yeah.
abused you?
Oh,
He
why
went
didn't, why
after
didn't
him.
Peter come?
Yeah.
I couldn't come.
He couldn't come.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry.
so
All
funny.
those
The
dishes.
thing is,
happened?
I think
The-
Anto
the
doesn't know how
dishwasher was
comedians
filled.
are too sometimes.
Why, you
because
got
they
offended?
pick people out.
Oh.
Yo, his leg was
I
like
sent
this.
you the video, no?
His
Whose
leg was
leg?
like this. Your leg was shaking.
Is that
Wow.
Yo, you know what he yelled out in the middle of the show? He goes, "You're gonna be on a bus back to Canada."
Damn.
true? You didn't see the videos, babe? We said
No,
He
it was only
doesn't.
two.
He doesn't open your messages.
2. Yeah,
just
how many?
ignores you.
It was. Whatever, I'll show you.
He's
But it was
actually a
funny.
nice guy.
Yeah,
I-
he's a
he's
great
fine.
guy. Mark's
It's just a
great.
joke. It's
Nice
it's
guy, and he
just
makes
funny.
fun of you like that. Wow.
You know what he said?
Those are comedians are.
Wow. Why
But
did he
I
make
think-
fun of Mike?
was there to make fun
I
of
think
Mike.
Marco popped. Marco.
Oh, you know why? He was
Marco
going
put it
around.
on the spotlight.
Yes,
That's what it
yes,
was.
yes. You know what happened? He went around asking people if they had nicknames. So he kept pointing out different people, and he's like, nobody else. I wasn't gonna say anything. And they said they used to say for his name in America, Cinque Palmi is chicken parm. So then he goes, wait, your name is Cinque Palmi? You know how your ancestors got that name?
Damn.
And, we'll
And
leave
they
it
made
at
some
that.
gestures that you could interpret
Wow.
why he had so
pounds.
many hands.
Cinque palmi.
Yeah, different gesture. He didn't like. Look, you see, that was the face.
The
that he was
hands were
making.
lower, that's for sure.
The hands were a little bit lower.
Aye.
I didn't say he did. And Marco put you on the spot.
yeah.
I didn't put you on the spot. I just said chicken.
Well,
parm.
you put spotlight on him. I don't think you would have said it.
And then he made fun of Ryan, our friend Ryan. He said that he looks like a
Poor guy.
rapper.
Ryan-
So what do you think? You're a rapper or
Ryan,
something?
Ryan came from the bathroom late or something, and he was wearing like a white big puffer jacket
Yeah.
And
he
a
had to
white
say
beanie.
something. And a white beanie.
And he left the
He
only
stuck out
time
like
that
a
he
sore
made fun of
thumb.
Anto. So he missed the entire thing. But it was good fun. Shout out to Mark Anthony.
Yeah,
He was
that was
here
great.
in Brooklyn. Well done. His crowd work is good. I like the way that he goes after
I was
people.
cracking up. Those videos that I took, it was just me laughing in the background the
Literally.
whole time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao,
ragazzi.
guys. And Forza.
Milan.